This is Fireman Ed, and you're listening to Jets Commute, Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. Jet fans, let's rock MetLife Stadium this year. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Go Jets! This is Fireman Ed, and you're listening to Jets Commute, Monday through Friday from 8 to 10 a.m. Jet fans, let's rock MetLife Stadium this year. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets, Jets. Go Jets!
morning, Buckeye.
Yo.
Nice to have a victory Monday.
It is. You see,
But
we
it's
opened
only
up at 6.5-point favorites, right?
Yeah, I did see that. Yep.
But
I
nothing's
think
nothing's changed.
I think it's too high.
Yeah, but P, the point is like everything's changed, bro. The whole same old. Everything's changed. 6.5-point favorites against the Patriots. What year was the last time that's happened?
No, you're right. Steven, go ahead, man.
PD, what's going on, man?
Yo.
How we feeling today?
Great. How you doing?
Oh, I'm freaking wonderful, man.
I hope
Freaking
better
coming
than
off
your
a
Wi-Fi signal.
Steven, you're going in and out.
W. If we're keep talking, and then if I keep getting bad, just drop me, because I'm driving right now.
You're
so
good
hopefully
now.
it gets
You're
a little
good now.
better. Okay. All right, good, because I'm excited, man. My train of thought is if we can be depressed and angry after a loss, we should be that excited after a win, man. Aaron Rodgers won us that game.
No doubt
I'm gonna
about
put
it,
something
bro.
in the
No doubt about it. That Rodgers
I'm gonna
won
put
us
something
that
in the
game.
jumbo.
I think I know what you're
I'm gonna
gonna
put something in the jumbo.
Is it that Emmanuel?
What was it?
Yeah, I saw that.
You know it. Like he audible to that run at the end with Braylon Allen, man. He and like I said, we all were clamoring. I mean, how fitting was it if Mike Williams was only going to have one catch? He had the exact catch which I've been thinking in my head he was going to have for us.
Yep.
It's unbelievable, man. I mean, this dude
that was the play of the game. Mike Williams' catch. I know Garrett Wilson's.
Because how many times, Petey, have we been in 2nd and 16 and it's just like, all right, we're just going to give up on this drive now. Or we don't trust our quarterback. We can't do nothing. We'll just hand it off 2 times and try and get in field goal range. No, those days are over, man. I mean, look, Rodgers isn't MVP Rodgers, but he's going to be special for us and help us, man. This is only game 2, man. I mean, everyone clamors. We just got to point to history sometimes if it's going to work. Look at what Favre. Everyone loves to talk about how we were 8-3 with Favre, but we started 3-3, and it took time to adjust and get everybody gelled. This offensive line has never played together. They're gelling. I mean, the pass pro after 2 weeks, Petey, has been fabulous, has it not?
Yeah, I was told week 1 that the offensive line was atrocious. I didn't see that in the pass protection at all.
No, the pass protection I've been so happy with. They were able to run the ball a little bit more with in the middle, like with it, but I've been so happy with the pass protection, man. I mean, this is, like I said, I just keep saying it's only game 2. The defense, obviously we got shell shocked in week 1 with the defense, so now we think the defense is awful. But after that, I'm going to say something, and you tell me if I sound crazy. Did the defense look a little better once CJ went out in terms of speed? Sherwood seemed to be
I'll
everywhere.
Tell you to me, the defensive MVP yesterday was Quincy Williams.
Oh, he turned back.
You're not going to give Will McDonald that award?
Yeah, okay, but Quincy Williams was everywhere yesterday in the second half, man.
Give me my offensive lineman back. God damn it.
What, man? What's up?
He said give the offensive lineman back to his team.
I want my offensive lineman back.
Yeah, that wasn't a good trade.
We lost to the fucking Raiders. This is pitiful.
Right, Kicker, no offense, and you're welcome up here, but I want Jeff fans to enjoy this because we went through hell last week. We went through hell. Dealing with a loss.
Don't worry, y'all gonna go through hell Thursday night.
I thought we were gonna. By the way, I thought we were gonna lose to the Titans.
And kicker, we let us enjoy this, and then
word around town. If they had Ryan Tannehill, y'all would have lost that game.
Oh yeah.
But hold up, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers though. Aaron Rodgers still wait. When is he going to throw for 200 yards?
We can circle back around.
Kick is like, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do.
So look, we're getting to June.
Should I take the under or should I take the over under on Aaron Rodgers passing yards Thursday?
What is it?
Vino.
What is it?
I mean, the way how he been looking, that shit should be.
I mean,
his line should be at.
so how many? All
It
right,
should
so
be
how many passing yards did
169.5.
Lamar have this week?
Lamar got more passing yards.
How many passing yards did Lamar Jackson have yesterday?
246.
Hold on, June. Wait, what?
246.
He's
246, and he lost. So Aaron Rodgers could have had 3
too much
passing yards.
time
We
with it.
won.
We're taking too much time
James.
on
Hold on, real quick, PD. Hey, James, chill out, all right? Because you know I'm gonna tell y'all, right? Y'all can get hyped about 1-1.
Yo,
Guess
you
what?
0-2.
Y'all still ain't played the Bills
right.
yet,
All right.
and the Bills saying that's their
So wait. Now the Bills that you predicted to come in last place, you're gonna flip flop.
He's
Okay,
reaching.
cool.
He's reaching.
Cool.
He's reaching.
He's in
Kicker.
pain, man.
Let's get to the hands,
Victory
man. He's
Monday,
0-2.
PD. Victory
Yeah.
Monday. We could
Go
talk
ahead,
it.
Anthony.
We could talk
Anthony,
it.
go ahead.
Kicker, you killed us on
Stop.
the Devontae Adams thing. You killed us, bro.
Chill, Lee Sean.
You killed us on the Devontae Adams trade, bro.
Now it's going to take another 2
Yeah.
weeks, Buckeye.
Yeah. Thanks, Ravens.
Yeah. Anthony, go ahead, man, and then CB.
What's up, guys? Good morning.
What's up?
Morning.
What's up? I'm happy about the win, but I got to point out some negatives. I'm sorry. And the first negative I'm going to go with is the coaching staff.
Yep.
They still don't look like they know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and they're going to hold us back this year. That's the fact of the matter. And everybody's lying to themselves if they don't think that. And it's
can't be worse than the
100%
Ravens
true.
coaching staff.
But Ant, why don't you give any credit that they had 3 starters down in that game? Why don't you give any credit that they lost C.J. Mosley, D.J. Reed, and Jermaine Johnson, and still on the road won by a touchdown? Like, you got to give some credit.
Buckeye, they still show the same consistency of starting out slow, and that's the fact.
That's
They
a
never
fact.
come out and
That's a
start
fact.
fast. They got to go in. They got to be losing, come out at halftime, and then they figure it out. Why not start off the game like hot? It's just to me. I don't know. I don't feel that confident going into the Patriots game. I mean, that's just me. I don't know if anybody else feels
I'm
that
with you,
way.
Ant. I'm with you.
And then
I'm not
also
with you.
too, and also the Jets got to stop playing around with Hassan Reddick now. This is like the QB situation, but on the defensive line. You got the guy there. Bring him in. Don't be like beating around the bush. This if you want to be a real contender, go get Hassan Reddick now.
Mm-hmm.
Jermaine Johnson's done for the year most likely. Bring him in. Stop messing around like you did with the backup quarterback last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's all I got to say, really. I mean, I'm happy about the win, obviously. I'm not going to poo-poo a win. Wins are hard to
You
come
don't sound
by.
like it.
Well, Ann, can I ask you a question real quick? So,
Yeah.
so did the Jets make defensive adjustments in the second half?
Yes, Petey, but
Okay.
why do they have to start out like that?
Okay.
Every game,
That's football. That's football, Ant.
It's
I'll be honest. That is
It's
football.
Salah's MO. It's Salah's MO at this point.
Did the
It
Jets
is
score
solid
24
MO.
points, guys? Can we talk about the fact that the Jets scored more than 20 points, and so they won the game? Can we talk about that too?
No, Mark, because it's always negativity. That's why. And that's not towards Anthony. It's just, listen, I thought the Jets were going to lose yesterday in the second half. It was bound to happen. And listen, Aaron Rodgers, there's no way the Jets were winning that game with
And
any
Pete,
other quarterback.
the tackling's still terrible.
Yes.
Okay.
They should have had Levis at
Bro,
on third and 20 at the end.
Anthony, I get it, but if you would tell me every game if the Jets could win by a touchdown on the road, I don't care if they're playing the Panthers. Sign me up. A road win is road win.
You're not nervous about the Patriots game at all?
Yeah, I am. I think the spread's way too high, but the Jets could beat the Patriots.
You know what, Petey? I want an apology tour on Will McDonald from a lot of people in the speaker
Buckeye,
role, starting with a co-host.
Buckeye,
I want an apology tour to begin right now.
Buckeye,
All right,
I gave McDonald his flowers.
Let's get to CB. Ant, stay up here. CB, go ahead, man.
Good morning. PD, I don't usually take long, but I'm going to need you to bear with me on this one. All right. I usually don't take too long.
All right.
Mr. Smith, I'm going to need to talk to you right quick, brother. How we feeling today, sir?
I feel good, man. I'm alive, brother.
Okay. I'm surprised you feeling good, man, because there's a wide receiver out here with 3 sacks. It's fucking crazy, bro. I ain't never seen no shit like that in the stat line. I'm gonna need you to put some more respect on my guy. I tried to tell you he's gonna break out this year, but I'll be fair. He needs to be consistent. I'll be fair, and yeah, listen. Jokes aside, because y'all know me and June go at it.
All
But jokes
day.
aside, Rutgers got to keep running on that corner route, bro. Like
Yes, you're right.
that could blow the game wide the fuck open for real.
You're absolutely right.
And yeah, free Malachi Corley until it's backwards.
Now, wait. Can I ask you a question? Because Anthony just said it, so I want to know what you're thinking right now. At this point in time, how do you feel about the Hassan Reddick situation?
Me specifically? Oh, it's time to make a phone call.
Exists. So if they don't reach out and make the move to get him, how are you feeling about the organization?
Oh, I mean, listen, the leverage, the comparing of male parts sizes, nah, that shit's over, man. Like, you gotta win. It's not about feeling powerful no more or whatever JD's power trip is right now.
Thank you.
It's not about who has leverage. Get this shit done. You need them. Period.
Kick a mute.
Thank you.
All right, I'll courtesy. I'll courtesy mute. I got it. All right. Before we move on to new speakers, CB, I have a question for you. If you can come off mute, please. CB.
I'm here.
Man, I can't tell if the
All
Jets.
right.
I can't tell if the
Kick
Jets won
a.
or lost, man. Y'all sound like last week, man. I need some entertainment, man.
I tried to.
Bro, go to a Raven space. I'm sure y'all got plenty to talk about.
I got it. Hold on. CB. How many sacks did Will McDonald have all the last season?
I'm pretty sure he had 3.5.
How many sacks did he have yesterday?
By my calculations, it was 3.
3 and a strip sack, right? To get the ball out.
Yep.
So, okay, thank you. Let's go to Terrence. Terrence, good morning.
Mark, you.
Does Will McDonald lead the NFL in sacks? I'm just asking.
Hey,
No.
yeah,
No.
I think CB. I think CB came up with I don't know if he did it intentionally or not, but Will McDonald, WMD, weapon of mass destruction, baby. But yeah, so
I like that. I like that.
Yeah, so but for me, obviously, Rodgers got us that game-winning drive in the fourth quarter. It's good to have a quarterback who can do that for once. Give him credit for that. And as I think some people have already said, Mike Williams making that one catch. That's all I need to know. I think he'll get better week to week. And he just missed on that pass to Lazard on the possession before that. He'll get more of those as the year go on. The criticism I have is I don't know what's going on where they have so many delay of game penalties or the clock goes all the way down to like 00. And I do agree with Anthony on the fact that Hackett, Hackett's play calling is going to hurt us when we play a good team. But right now, I'm happy. I think that as the weeks go on, this team will get better. I have a bad taste in my mouth about the whole Reddick thing because this is what him and his agent wanted. I hope they don't give him 3 or 4 years. Just give him max money for 1 year and let him go off into the sunset. Because to me, if you want to be part of this team, you should be also coming in and saying, look, one of our guys went down. Yes, let's negotiate. I'll come in. Yes, but with the understanding that you're gonna, I got you by the balls, and you're going to give me something. You're not going to give me some cheap ass extension. But to me, I just don't like I don't like the antics that have been going on the whole time. But overall, it's a short week. Thursday, let's win this, be 2-1, and we got 10 days to talk about it. Thanks.
Good stuff, Terrence. Vino, what up?
What's good, y'all? Good dub for you guys yesterday. I will say though that Thursday is about to be a bloodbath because I'm on. Okay. Thursday about to be a bloodbath. Get ready because it's about to be some of the most boring football that you motherfuckers in this space have ever watched.
Nah, that's not true.
Bloody
That might be.
man,
I'm
All
bloody,
that trash already? Oh
Hold
shit!
on.
bloody
No,
man,
the
no,
bloody.
no. I'm saying the defensive battle. It's about to be.
yes, Gino,
It's
I
about to be
agree
an
with you. But
absolute defensive
listen,
bloodbath.
listen. You, as a Patriot fan, you can't dare talk about the most boring. You can. We can't. I mean, we've been dreadful. You had 20 years of Tom Brady, and now listen. I think it's going to be a defensive. I do. I see it being like a 17-14, 16-13 game. I do.
I'm
I
not gonna
Can I
agree
lie.
say
with you.
something? Can I say something, Petey? Um, y'all will lose this game if Aaron Rodgers can't throw over 200 yards.
Okay, you should worry about winning
No,
the
no, no,
game.
no, no. Hold on, real quick. Hold on. And the only reason why I'm saying that, right? Because I feel like the Patriots gonna play y'all like they played the Bengals, right? And you saw Joe
Get a
Burrow.
win.
Joe Burrow was out there struggling. Look, hey, look, I'm gonna tell y'all something, right? Yeah, my team 0-2. All y'all talking about going to Raven space. I'm gonna go in any space I want to. Yes, my team is 0-2, but a lot of y'all teams is 1-1, 2-0.
Yeah.
Ain't never. When the last time y'all won a playoff game?
Oh,
But look,
so
AP,
now it's
When the
like
last time
yeah,
you
that.
won a game?
See, this is what I mean. You
but
can't have a
no, no,
football
no, no,
conversation
no,
without
no,
getting emotional. Let's
no.
talk about the facts.
Hey, I'm going
Want to
off.
talk?
Get
Hey,
a win.
I'm feeding off the energy you giving me, Petey.
Oh,
Hello, I asked you a question.
there's no energy. Listen, we
I,
won a football game.
I know I asked you a question about. I asked you
What
why
about
Aaron Rodgers
Aaron
ain't throwing for
Rodgers?
200. You, oh,
So what?
how many yards did
Who?
Lamar threw for? How many yards? Like, bro,
I'm asking you a question. How many yards did Lamar throw for?
look, all right. So look, I'm gonna keep it like
246,
this,
right?
right? Hey,
See, you
Jets,
can't
I'm
answer the
happy. No, no,
question.
no, Jets, I'm happy y'all got y'all first dub, right? Now I just hope y'all can stand on business, because I still think maybe you and the I don't know about the Dolphins. I'm gonna just say y'all, the
Kicker, is there
Bills.
is there a team in the AFC East you don't got beef with? Like what's up with you, dog?
I ain't got no beef, bro. I'm just
Nah. You come in here day after day after day talking about the Jets gonna win and the Jets
yup,
gonna lose,
yup,
bro. Let's talk.
yup,
Who y'all
yup,
play next? Let's talk
yup.
about it for
Oh,
real.
we played the Cowboys, and the Cowboys probably beat the
Oh,
They
shit
y'all
out.
lost
finna
to the
get
Raiders
spanked.
at
Y'all
home,
finna
though.
get
They
spanked,
lost to the
dog.
Raiders at
And
home.
they
Yeah,
and you know who they got after that? The
yeah,
Buffalo Bills.
yup. We might go 0
So it
4.
doesn't get
Yup.
any easier.
Oh, and guess who we got after the Buffalo Bills? We got the
Who's that?
Bengals, so we might be
All
0
right.
5. Yeah,
All right. Speaking of after that, let's get to ground and punt.
Good morning.
So
What's up, Graham?
What's up, Grom?
Hey, listen, has some similarities to Buffalo's Week 1 game, right? Where
Yeah.
everybody expected the Bills to mop the floor with the Cardinals, and at the end of the day, didn't they didn't play very well. Listen, the Jets. I was telling my wife yesterday. They either
Ground, don't forget, Ground, real quick. The Bills were home that game too, and I'm not throwing shade at the Bills. And
no,
now they're
I'm
gonna
not. I'm
say,
not. I'm not.
oh, the Cardinals
PD.
stomped the Rams, so that was taken out
That's
of
true too.
context.
It's not
So
identical. I'm not going to sit here and say it's identical to the. I'm just saying that it was a W that everybody had on the calendar, on the schedule. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to say at the end of the day, and that it ended up being way closer than any of us would have wanted. And the Bills fans could say the same thing about Week 1. But
Mm-hmm.
listen, the Jets, they either don't play well and lose. They either they never don't play well and win. So this is, it's a markings of a good talented roster. That they were still, able to. I think Frankie said, "Hey, talent won yesterday," and I would agree with that. And listen, the Tampa Bay Bucks, the first year, it took them to like week 12 to hit their stride. So, you could just see timing is off. You could see they're not 100% there. But I think a few really big things happened in the game. I think Aaron Rodgers took a few hits, and I think like that roughing the passer with Simmons hitting his helmet, that really got the team going. Got the offensive line. You saw Morgan Moses up in everybody's face talking shit, like sticking up for his quarterback. Like we never had that. We had a bunch of friggin' pussies at offensive line, just letting our quarterbacks get hit and get abused and not do anything. So, you definitely, you heard the Joan Clark rant that Brees is overrated. Brees is overrated. Meanwhile, he had 100 yards, average over 4 yards a carry. The running lanes weren't there. I mean, there's a lot to take out of this. Normally, the Jets play well for 3 quarters, play bad for 7 minutes in the fourth quarter, and still lose. So, I mean, like, you got to feel good. I get that people are not happy with the coach and all that kind of stuff. And it was an ugly game, but a win is a win. Rodgers got 2 touchdown passes. Right now, he's on pace for high 20s. The offense has 4 touchdown passes. Last year they had 11 total. So I mean, like, you could see everything's trending for the team. The defense still looks bad. I mean, you see that Texans defense? That's what the Jets defense should look like. The Texans defense, man, they're playing with their hair on fire. So I mean, like, this defense needs to get their shit together. We need to get Reddick in the building, and yeah, the defense to me is more concerning. I see some potential with this offense. You saw the nice catch with Mike Williams. You see what they did with the misdirection with 2 backs in the backfield.
Ground, yes. Ground. I talked about that specifically in the offseason, and I'm not the only one that did, but
You and CB were all over
me
that.
too.
Yeah. Like, motion Brees Hall out, leave Braylon Allen, and then you throw a swing pass to Brees, let him get open in space, and if not, then they're going to key on Brees and pitch one to Allen. Do something. June, your your co-host is bug. Hold on. I don't know how that happened.
This guy Allen, man, he runs with some juice, man. He's like a little, with his size and everything like that. He's a little baby Derrick Henry, man. Like he just runs with. I'm not saying
Oh, that
he's
take sounds
good.
familiar.
I'm just talking about like he has some. He's got some liveliness in his game is all I'm really trying to say.
Yeah.
And his size, he's not going to come down at the first point. Your technique better be picture perfect if you're going to tackle this guy one-on-one, because it ain't happening otherwise.
Well, Ground, that's I was envisioning yesterday when the Jets were up. Run the ball now. Now you got Allen and Hall, and this is how you beat teams in December. You run the ball, you smash mouth football, and you got Mike Williams to stretch the field on those jump balls, and then you got Garrett Wilson to do all of his fucking shiftiness. And it worked.
Petey, let's be honest though about Sauce, man. It was an ugly game. Ugly. Bro, that pass to Ridley, him not getting his head turned around. I mean, that's just brutal. Like
Chuck Clark was also late, though. Listen, the one play, the crossing play. Did you watch the crossing play replay?
Then in the fourth quarter,
I just asked you a question. I just asked you a question. Did you watch the first play on the crossing play? He had to cross 3 people. He got picked. I can't put the long pass.
No, I'm not. Listen, the long pass.
Ground. Can I explain my point? Okay, fine.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not saying every play. I'm saying that the touchdown.
What, the touchdown play?
That's an interception.
I thought Chuck Clark had it.
It was underthrown. He's got to get his head turned around. And then we got lucky. That last drive in the fourth quarter, he was holding him. He was just like he was sloppy. He was like,
you know what wasn't unlucky?
He got
Let me see a positive, please. Jeez, Ground. How about the Brandon Eccles? Can we shout him out?
I said about 10 positives before I said anything.
All right. I know you've also been talking for 20 minutes. Can we talk about Brandon Eccles for a second?
Yeah, that was a great play.
Brandon Eccles, who stood in for DJ Reed, who's a starter. All right, gets up in the room. He turns around. Interception. Big play in the game. Listen, people have said this, that, and the other about Reed and Eccles. Eccles had a really nice play there. And Ground, to your point, listen, I think with that Sauce and Chuck Clark, I wonder if Sauce was expecting Chuck Clark to do something on that play. But he didn't.
You know what I noticed,
He
Mark?
really made a nice play.
Whenever he gives up a catch, he sits there and starts pissing and moaning at his teammates. That's what I notice about him. Like,
so you want to get rid of him?
No, I just think that the defensive staff has been protecting this guy. That's why they don't let him travel, because he's a very good player.
Now he's coddled?
Did
Yes.
anybody see Aaron Wycotton yesterday screaming at the defensive line? Did anybody see that clip? I did. There's accountability there.
So you mean to tell me in that fourth quarter that wasn't holding or
I didn't say that. What is what?
he looked like he was covering the guy with one leg or something. It's just way off, man.
Brown, what do you
It's
want to
just
do? So what do you want to do with him?
speak the truth when we see something. That's all I'm
Okay.
saying.
So that concerned you after a win? That Sauce got beat on a touchdown? So in 3 years,
Okay.
he's given up how
All
many
right.
touchdowns? I'm just asking.
All right. That's fine.
I'm asking you a question.
Go ahead. Yeah. I'm what
I
else
just
do you want me to
asked you.
say? I'm saying
So
it was a bad play.
it was.
This is a guy that when
I
the
thought we
team
were going to lose the
loses,
game after
this
that
is a
play.
guy that when the team loses, he sits there and posts his stats after the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
When the team
Did he do that?
loses,
Did he
right?
do that? Did he do that game one?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't.
So he did it last year.
Right. So what I'm trying to say is that, look, man, when we're going to sit here and praise him now, how great he is, how he's going to reset the market. When the guy doesn't play well, we got to, speak the truth. No, you don't think so? I mean, what is this?
I think the Jets won the football game. We're spending a lot of time criticizing Sauce Gardner. There's a lot of stuff to talk about in this one, including
Mark,
Will
you're too
McDonald.
sensitive. Yeah, great. Oh, yeah, it's a girl.
I'm sensitive about that. We can really dig into Sauce, but that's what you're fixated on. There's a lot to talk about in this game.
I'm not fixated on it.
And CB's had a hand up.
I said a bunch of other things besides that. It's not necessary to get butthurt because one of our favorite players got cooked yesterday. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah,
I already told you. Sometimes good players have bad games, but I'd rather talk about Will McDonald exceeding expectations, especially with Jermaine Johnson's injury. I would talk about this linebacking core with C.J. Mosley going out and Jamie and Sherwood stepped up. Meanwhile, I was told, hold on, Brown, I've been listening for a long time, man. I can't say anything either.
I can talk about whatever I want. That's what I'm saying. I said 90% of the things that I said, you like what I had to say, and you don't like the one part of the truth that is the truth. And I agree with you.
Now, with respect, you don't know what I liked about what you said. You said plenty. I just want to move to a new speaker. Is that okay with you? Okay, CB, good morning.
Me, Mark. Wait, CB. Now I'm going to start with you. Will McDonald is one sack behind Malachi Corley's yards for the year. Go ahead, CB.
And how many yards does Jeremy Ruckert have for the year? But anyway,
that's not my boy.
I didn't say it was. Anyway,
CB, I'm kidding.
I know. To Ground's point, yes, Sauce got beat. Like, I'm sorry, why do we obsess over this? Like, it's so crazy to me because it's like, Sauce. And name me a number one cornerback in the league who's never been beat on any touchdown pass. Like, I'm sorry. I posted it yesterday. 9 out of 10 times, Chuck Clark or Sauce breaks that pass up, period. This was the one time, and it resulted in a Calvin Ridley wild-ass touchdown. Good for him. Like, again,
it was a hell of a play,
I'm
too.
I'm good with Sauce getting beat this year a couple times if he's guarding the team's number one. If he's locked there in step and they just happen to make a play, I'm good with it. Like, I don't care about that. Anyway, I came up here to ask, are we going to see Eric Watts this Thursday? With it being a short week, JJ being out, I don't think you can play Will McDonald as much against a power running team like the Patriots. So I'm just wondering, do you move Quinnen outside a little bit more and try to get Kinlaw and Solomon Thomas on the field together at defensive tackle? So what do you guys think?
Yeah, by the way, CB, you brought him up. I thought Javon Kinlaw had a great game yesterday. I really did.
Oh, Petey, you know my phrase, let the praise be as loud as the slander was. And I've been slandering this man all off.
CB, I think
he drew a hell of a holding call.
Yes, CB. How about the play?
Passer.
How about the play where that screen play and he caught that guy? It was like a 6-yard. That shit was going for big yard, and he caught him from behind.
Yep. CB, about your Eric Watts point. What about putting Solomon Thomas outside and bringing up Leonard Taylor? If we're gonna talk about letting the better inactive play, I would try Solomon Thomas outside and get Leonard Taylor playing because he showed more in the preseason than Eric Watts did.
Even I don't hate that idea. I will just say this: if the coaching staff feels like he needs time to cook, let him cook. That's all I'm saying. Like, I know we rush him based off of the preseason and things like that, but if they feel like this guy just needs a little bit of refinement and some time, let's just give him time. I don't hate your idea. I actually posed it during the offseason. I'm sorry, after week 1 when I was like, hey, the run defense has got to get shored up. But I'm not in a rush to see Leonard Taylor yet. I'll just say that.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. I know the Jets started off bad yesterday, and listen, I have to give Salah credit for this part. I was not happy with him yesterday, but he did call 2 timeouts, to save delay of games, which that one in the fourth quarter would have been critical. So,
I mean, didn't they both
lead to up? Okay, guys.
Didn't they both lead to good? Because wasn't the Breece Hall touchdown also on that? I think it was because
I'm not sure.
They came out of the timeout, and can we talk about that play too? How many times have we seen an offense line up with a running back split out wide, and we just think it's kind of like a waste of like, why is he out there? That they're not even going to like look at him. We finally have a quarterback that could take advantage of that, and now that that's on film, like, does a defense now like look at that and put a safety out there? Because a backer's not going to be able to keep up with Hall. And if they put a safety there, I mean, unless it's a third safety, that might take a safety away from the middle of the field. So I'm happy that we ran that play and it worked because now that's on film.
Steven, I love this call out because something that the Jets are going to be able to do with this 2 linebacker set, and I remember PD talking about it, CB's been talking about it the second we got Allen and Davis in the building in the draft, is I wonder if the Jets will do some 2 running back looks and then threaten teams that way, especially with this wide receiver core, like having question marks. Although, man, Mike Williams, Pete's right, that's a great play. But this idea of stressing linebackers out because they have to worry about a 2 running back look and where's the ball going, because it's not a decoy. Both of these guys are threats in the passing game and running downhill. Because Braylon Allen, man, when he hits his top gear and starts running, I'm like, who is getting in front of this guy? Who's going to get in front of this guy to tackle him? Like, that touchdown was nice, man. And he's got good hands, too. Not as good as Breece, but that's fine, man. Like, I like that set a lot. And teams are going to – listen, I was wondering, outside of Garrett Wilson, like, on offense, who's going to step up and make plays? And, like, Conklin had a nice play. Mike Williams, obviously, we talked about that. Garrett Wilson had a handful of nice plays, including the 3rd and 1 over the top of Snead. How about that play?
Oh yeah, Mark, that crazy route that he ran, right? The Garrett Wilson
There's
catch.
A key. Listen, Pete, all year last year we were watching this team get off the field on offense on 3rd and 1, and even in week 1 they were terrible on 3rd down. And now to see them converting, now they can actually threaten the whole field. That was a deep shot, not like a little sell out to stop
Mark,
3rd and 1. It was a deep shot over the top.
Mark, we never had the guts to do that neither. And I hate bringing Zach up. We didn't do it with Zach. It didn't work with Darnold. But we could have never made that play last year. There's no way. And Mark, this is why I think the Mike Williams catch was so significant, because it was what, 2nd and 16 or whatever. What was it exactly? Tell me again. Do you recall?
Yeah, it was no, I'd have to pull up the
second and 16. 2nd and 16.
All right, so it was 2nd and 16.
Wow.
So that catch, either now if the Jets don't convert on that, now you got to kick a long field goal, and then Tennessee's driving. They're going to tie the game, no doubt. They're in field goal range, and then they can win the game. To me, that was the biggest play, because then it set the Jets up to win that game with Allen. Rodgers showed why he's Aaron Rodgers still. Listen, I don't care if he didn't have 300 yards passing. Who cares?
PD, can I ask a question real quick?
Oh, go ahead,
I'm sorry, Mark. Go ahead, Mark.
No, I was just going to say, look, I think I feel, before it's all green goggles, and I feel very comfortable saying that the Jets are a good football team right now. Like, they're making a lot of mistakes. They have a lot to clean up. They're not yet a great football team. They can get there, I think, but there's a lot to clean up. This whole getting out of the, getting the play call in, getting to the line, having enough time to make the checks. Because think about it, in against great teams, if you're wasting 2 timeouts because you're concerned about delay game penalties because the play isn't in, you know what I mean? Like I am concerned, but this is stuff they can clean up. It's not like unsolvable shit. So that gives me some faith. But they're playing good football now, but they're not yet great. Like they really need to clean some stuff up.
And look, with the Ravens, the AFC, the wild card and everything's wide open. This shit is so wide open. There's going to be, listen, we all think Miami's not making the playoffs now, right? The AFC
Yeah.
wild card is wide open. It's wide open. I don't care what anybody says. So,
PD, can I ask a question real quick?
yep.
We talk about this staff and making adjustments. Am I crazy? Did anyone else notice there was a lot less Ashton Davis and more Isaiah Oliver yesterday?
Yo, I was trying to remember who 23 was. I was like, who the hell is 23?
Bro,
And
I kept
like
seeing him pop up on clips, and I'm like, who is this? And I went back and looked, and I'm like, that's Isaiah
I
Oliver.
had
Like,
to
why
actually
is he
look on the
playing?
roster. I had to go on the Jets website, look up the roster. I was like, who the hell's 23?
Yeah, good call, CV. That's a good call there. June, you here?
Yeah, man, I am.
Oh, you came in and out. Pause.
Wow. Look, it's about accountability. Ashton Davis didn't look great. His pursuit angles and the rest of it, like he did not look solid week 1. And now they're like, you know what? Especially against teams that maybe they want to. And look, how about the Jets' run defense? Like they looked very sketchy in the first, I'd say, first quarter, and then lead into the second quarter. And then Mosley went out. Sherwood starts playing. And they started doing, I mean, if you think about it, a lot of the rushing game for Tennessee, if you look at the scorecard, it's going to look like they ran all over the Jets. It was a lot of Will Levis taken off. Like they really didn't. And Pollard was effective more in the passing game. You know what I mean? They didn't run all over the Jets, and they wanted to. With Bill Callahan being in there, and a young quarterback, you better believe Tennessee wanted to run the football
Mark, a
more
lot of
effectively
people are
than they
calling
did.
him Jamie in the future Sherwood, so you might want to let that stick.
Mark, that escape pissed me off yesterday. The Levis escape. That was a key point of that game, man, too.
Yeah, they were selling out to stop the run, I feel like, and then they lost track of Levis. He had a couple big plays on the ground. Listen, Tennessee's not a bad football team. They make mistakes, but they're not bad. They have a lot of talent.
PD, I think your defense looked better with Sherwood in there once Mosley went out.
Yep, I agree, Dale. Good morning.
Maybe there's something to be said about letting go aging players that lost a step and giving young guys a try and having athleticism, right?
Dale, I just don't think they're not going to do it, though. They're not going to do it yet, but that's a good point. Go ahead, June.
So the same exact thing last year.
It seemed to me like they were hitting you on the edges pretty hard when Mosley was in there, and then the minute Mosley came out, they weren't getting that anymore.
Hey, Jones, what's going on, brother? Good morning.
Hey, I agree. First thing I want to say, I'm just looking through the listeners. Shout out whoever Mommy Ray is. But, hey, one thing about the defense and special teams, I think we got the blocked punt.
Get your mind out the gutter.
we got the blocked punt and then two turnovers. If we want to beat great teams or be a better team, we got to come away with more than just one score off of those 3 turnovers right there. We got to come away with at least 2 field goals, I feel like, or a touchdown on one of those 3 drives. And the game really could have been over in that first half. I truly believe. It Eccles. He has the best ball skills on our team. Sauce has to get his head turned around and make plays on the ball. He's very lackadaisical when it comes to making plays on that and stuff like that. Yeah.
Hey, did you guys hear the news this morning about the bank robbery yesterday in Baltimore?
It was kicker.
The bank was robbed. We came in and robbed the bank.
Ain't this a jet space? Hello, what's going on?
Hey, Passionate, how you doing? First of all, you coming in the space. How you doing, all right?
What's up, brother? I just saw
No,
a kicker
PD, correct
in there.
them. No, PD, correct them and say this is a jet space. We only
Well,
tell the
everybody's
Jets
welcome,
content.
Kika. All fans.
Hey, Kika. Hey, Kicker,
Kicker,
I just wanted
you
to
know
say good
what?
morning, man. I just wanted to
Hey,
say good morning
passionate,
to you. That's
yeah,
the only reason why I
yeah.
came in here.
You got 30 seconds. You're good. How you doing? Nice win for you guys.
Hey, I just had a
Look at God. Look at God. Look at God. Blender
the
taking his
the
ass
Raiders
out. Thank you,
the
God.
Raiders are Raiders. The Raiders are Raiders, but I had a feeling we was gonna pull that one off yesterday, and I'm gonna be. Ref gave us a couple blessings that we usually get against us, but Lamar didn't look like himself yesterday, man. They said he got dinged up week 1. He just didn't look like himself yesterday, man. He wasn't playing confident. He just didn't look like the Lamar Jackson that we're used to seeing. So I don't know, but hey, I'll take a W in the bank any day. And the way that defense played yesterday, the NFL better be on watch because that Raiders defense is pretty nasty and pretty physical. That
I
defense is
said that.
physical.
I said it over a week ago. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
That
they feed
defense
off
is
of their
good.
coach. Antonio Pierce is a motivator. I love Antonio Pierce.
Hey, how about that toward that last drive? You know, the Raiders always fuck some shit up. They always mess some shit up when we get a lead. And for Max
Mm.
to come out on first down and put Lamar on his ass like that was a
Hey,
fucking
passionate,
staple, man.
passionate. To be honest,
Yo,
though, I was watching
yo.
the Jet game, so this is all like I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, just know the Raiders
Hey,
wanted to
hey,
rob the
hey,
bank
hey,
yesterday.
hey, passionate. I think that was around the time when PD probably, well, he didn't go to the game because it was in Pittsburgh. I mean, Nashville. But he probably was home like, oh shit, we ready to be 0-2 while we was over there sweating. But it's all good, yo. Hey, the joke's
Hey, you
on
know what?
me.
Yeah,
It's
yo,
cool.
you're right. You know what I did notice though at 4:08? I noticed that the New York Jets were not 0-2, but I did notice one thing that the biggest upset this weekend was the Raiders over
No,
the
the biggest
Ravens.
upset this week was the team that beat the shit out y'all Monday Night Football
That
on
wasn't
Monday
an.
night.
How is
Yeah.
that? Hold on. How is that an upset when the defending runner-up champions won at home against a 7-10 football team last year? How is that an upset? How?
Uh, the 49ers beat the shit out y'all. Then they went. They
Oh,
lost to the fucking Vikings, bro. A team that
on the
everybody.
road.
Kicker, are you
Oh,
going to
oh.
beat the Cowboys? Are you going to beat the Cowboys because they
No.
got their shit pushed in yesterday,
You you
bro?
you want me
You
to be
should
honest?
kill the Cowboys.
You want me to be honest with you, my guy?
I
I don't
do,
know. I don't know.
but
I
they
have no
got their
idea.
ass pushed in yesterday by the Saints, bro.
But you know what though?
Oh,
Hey, look, right? Hear me out. So when I was in the Bill space yesterday, they said, well, Ravens, y'all might be down 0-3 because you know the Cowboys just got the shit beat out of them. And you know they're not gonna come into week 3. So maybe I'm looking at it like if we get the shit beat out of us week 3, maybe Sunday night prime time, we're gonna beat the shit out the Bills. I don't know. Maybe that's part of the script. I don't
What
know.
week is that? 5?
4. We
Week
played them
4.
week 4. And look, and I
Week
keep
4.
telling
Okay, so
Bill
they're gonna
fans,
get their
right?
ass whooped on 4 and 6.
Hey,
That's what's
bro,
gonna happen with the
I
Bills.
keep telling Bill fans, right? We don't lose when we wear all black on prime time. They think I'm joking, but we gonna see though.
can I make a
Let me
Jets
tell you.
football point?
Yes, Mark.
All right, thank you, Petey. Can we talk about Operation Jamie and Sherwood for a second? So CJ Mosley leaves the game. Let's talk about Sherwood, who's a converted safety. The Jets had faith in him. I've been told by fans, oh, the Jets have no linebacker depth. Their linebackers get cooked, etc. Blah, blah, blah. Enter Jamie and Sherwood, who has a very nice game and holds it down and helps. And listen, they did look faster with Sherwood and Quincy, and it makes sense because these guys are fast. And they've gotten great tutelage from CJ Mosley. And again, the coaching staff and the GM deserve a lot of credit, and Ulbrich too, for working on and developing Jamie and Sherwood and turning him into a quality linebacker. Like the Jets, listen, I don't want CJ Mosley to miss any time, but if he does miss some time, like, listen, I like Sherwood. So let's see what this looks like week in, week out against different teams. And look, there's a big test because you know they're going to want to run the football with Ramondre Stevenson. Like it's going to be another team that's going to try to stress the Jets when it comes to stopping the run. So let's see how they hold up.
Mark, I think that was put beautifully versus smearing CJ Mosley and it looking better than CJ Mosley because CJ Mosley is a fixture on this team. Can't wait to get him back.
Yep.
Mosley's analysis of plays, like his ability to see what's coming, is a big deal. That said, like having the speed And listen, Mosley's been a tackling machine for the Jets last year and even starting this. Listen, and I think they mentioned it on the broadcast too that this could have been a lingering thing from uh, week one. Like I know he had a wrist week one, but I don't know if he got a little banged up. Listen, this is the hard part for veteran players, older players especially, when you have 3 games in 11 days. Like this puts a lot of pressure on the veterans to stay healthy. And shout out to the O line. Like,
Yep.
yes, Tippmann like missed a blocking assignment or two, but by and large, dude, this line is doing exactly what they're setting about to do. The
Mark, there was a
protection's been very
post.
good for
Yeah,
Rodgers.
Mark, there was a post. I don't know who. I saw a tweet. I'll always call it a tweet too. Uh, on the 3 plays with Mike Williams, Rogers, Mike Williams, Garrett Wilson, and another throw. Sorry. Um, can you hear me, Mark?
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
So, um, the fact of the matter is, Rogers was protected very well. He was standing back there,
Yeah,
and that's what we need. You give me that time, Aaron Rodgers is going to dissect the defense, and that's what he
Pete,
did
there's a lot of
last
talk
week.
last year. It is what there's a lot of talk last year about the Jets are quarterback away, and whatever. No team's a quarterback away. We heard a bunch of nonsense about it. I saw Aaron Rodgers manufacture points yesterday, in a lot of different ways. He did it by making checks at the line of scrimmage on the fly. He also did it, and we haven't talked about this, in communicating with your skill players. About after the timeout, Brees Hall saying, "Listen, if I've got a matchup, a mismatch, like I'm ready." And Rodgers is like, "All right." And then lo and behold, the matchup presents itself. They signal their way through it, and Brees Hall comes down with a receiving touchdown, which he's a quality receiving back in the league. Like they need to. This is only week 2. This is the worst. If presuming health, this is the worst the Jets are going to look. They're still finding their footing, and they're making a lot of
Yeah,
mistakes.
Mark, you just made me think. Mark, Brees Hall caught that pass like a wide receiver too. Like Rodgers threw it, not like It reminded me. Listen, the Josh Allen throw to Ty Johnson the other night was incredible. That throw to Rodgers, from Rodgers to Hall, over hit on a laser, was incredible too. I'm sorry, like Aaron Rodgers is still elite at throwing the football. You can't. You can't argue that. CB, 1 second. Jet fans, if you want to come up, please. We won. Let's go. Join the combo. I usually don't do this, but we won a game, and everybody wanted to talk last week when we lost. Jet fans, we won. CB, go ahead.
Nah, that's facts, PD. Everybody has something to say when we lost, but we win. Nobody's got anything to say. But I just want to go back to Will McDonald real quick, man. Like, breakout game, whatever. I want to see if it's sustainable. But what I took most out of his performance is that, one, he can be used as a spy, So I think if you get Reddick back in here to help the pass rush, that's a role that you can continue to see Will McDonald in. And two, a lot of those plays where he was getting pressure or, getting the sack or whatever, or a lot of speed to power rushes, which is something that, we all wanted to see him add to his game. Like, we knew he had the spin move. We knew he
It's a
could
great
dip and
point.
rip, but the fact that he added power and was bull rushing, and Tennessee's got a pretty big offensive line. So I was very impressed and honestly quite surprised that he chose to go that route. So I just, I would just want to give Will his flowers because, adding that power element to his game was very surprising but very needed. And yeah, listen, it's not about weight with him. I know we all obsess about the weight. I did too. But as long as he's playing with power, I think this kid will be a good pass rusher for a long time.
I agree. CB, he literally won the game for us too on defense. We needed a big sack, and that's what we got him for. We
Yeah,
talked
listen,
about it in
man. I
CB.
said,
We
and
yeah
I'll
we
give Lee John his credit. Lee John was like, "Yo, listen, if you give this guy some JJ reps, like the same amount of reps JJ got last year, he'll start producing." So the guy just needs time on task in this defense. That's all it is.
Yeah, and everybody that said, Douglas, failed with McDonald and no draft picks were playing, for the Jets
It,
this
it
year.
was a panic pick, PD. Didn't you hear?
Well, what about Braylon Allen was might have been the best play. He had 2 touchdowns yesterday too. How about him?
Yeah, I mean, listen, the dude ran with power. He ran with purpose. He's a better receiving back out of the backfield than I thought he was coming out the draft. So, listen, I'm glad to have fresh legs back there that can spell Brees and not fall off completely. And yeah, and don't lose track of Isaiah Davis. He's back there cooking. Once he finally gets in the game, I expect good things out of him too. So the Jets are built to run the ball and play defense. It's just they just got to tighten up the screws on defense. That's it.
I think we may
Agreed.
find, and they mentioned this on the broadcast, that this, I think Aaron Rodgers actually said it. He's like, this Tennessee defense was very good. Like, as you get to the end of the year rankings for the defense, they may turn out to be one of the better units in the league. So now you've got back-to-back games against very good defenses. And, with Allen, it's nice seeing stuff happen in camp that then translates to the regular season. And we were hearing that Braylon Allen had good hands, like that he could be a threat in the passing game. And let me tell you something, man. That guy on the perimeter, if he passes and then he hits full speed, oh man, like that's a real problem for corners and safeties out there to try to tackle this guy. Like it's a problem, man. If you can stretch the field like that horizontally too, man. Listen, they're not. They're clearly not there yet, man. There's so many problems with how they played. The getting the play, if it's getting the play, like this whole getting the play in late with Hackett, and then I don't know what the problem is that you have to waste 2, timeouts to not get delayed game penalties. They need to clean it. I'm glad it's fixable, but they need to fix it and fast
Yep.
because against great teams, it's going to cost you.
Mark, I want to play the Garrett Wilson clip of the catch. Just this call excites me. Just listen to Ian Eagle and Charles Robinson.
With the Packers. Down to 2 seconds. 1 second. Rodgers gets the snap off. Barely. Rodgers timing route. Floater. Caught over the shoulder. Willie Mays style. Garrett Wilson. First down.
Oh, I love that call that you just made there because watch Wilson. He's going to be looking to the outside and watch the adjustment back to the inside so smoothly it doesn't throw his body out of sync. And he's able to make the catch with no issues. Aaron Rodgers put it in the right spot. 26 yards, big first.
Disappointed.
So
with the Packers.
That, I don't know, man.
That was over Snead too, Pete. Like
Correct.
their best corner. They were battling all day long.
They were. Peter, what's up? Pete squared.
I'm here, and Pete's are the best, especially Italian Pete's. Hey, love everything said. Love that clip. I'm gonna channel my inner Aaron Rodgers to Jets fans and just say, relax. We got a quarterback coming off an injury. We lost significant people on defense. It was a great win yesterday, and it looked terrible. It was like Armageddon, the movie. We got back home, not without some casualties. But, I think the true test is Thursday. Can we take care of New England on a short week? So that's all I got to say. I think we got to be kind to Salah, hold him accountable, but I feel like he's got the most pressure of a one-on-one coach, considering there's other teams like the Ravens that are 0-2. So just throwing that out there.
Pete, thanks for coming up. Hexakim, where you at? Vince, I don't know where you're at. Shout out to the listeners. Join the conversation. I'll have a Titans, somebody who covers the Titans, and he was in on Friday, Mike Herndon at 9:00 to come on and talk about, the game, the victory for the Jets and what he saw and what he thinks. And we'll ask him some Titan questions and all that. But
Pete, I want to shout out the O-line again. If
yeah,
the Jets were
Mark,
going to have a shot.
Can I just say
Pete.
one thing? Guys, I don't understand this. So many people wanted to talk last week after the loss. and now we win, and it's silent. It's crazy. I don't know. This is nuts. You know, I understand. I'm used to negativity too with the Jets, but come on, guys, really? There we go. Go ahead, Mark, and then let Curtis
Well,
go.
Pete, I want to shout out the O line. Okay, the Jets lift two starters from Baltimore. Okay, and Rodgers' protection has looked very good. The guy's starting and playing two full games, and he gives you a shot in every game you're playing, dude. The Jets scored 24 points, and they left points on the field. This was by far not a perfect game. Like they had a lot of fits in the first quarter. I'm like, man, this is the same shit from the first week. Like, not looking quite right. 3-and-out from the offense. Like they're trying to still find their identity. The defense is getting run on a little bit. And then look, this is what happens when you start no starters in the preseason. Like folks thinking that this is exactly what the Jets are after 2 weeks, dude. When you have new players and this kind of turnover, like I expect rust. These guys aren't in game shape yet. You saw Brandon Echols at the very end of the football game throwing up on the field because he gave his last ounce of devotion in the shit. Like, listen, they're not. This is not. They're not all together yet. Like, they need some time, and now they've got this stretch. They need to win on Thursday, and then they need the mini bye to kind of get their bodies right, get healthy, like catch their breath. But look, man, you're gonna win. Good teams can win in ugly fashion and you still win the football game. And that's what they did because it wasn't pretty at all.
Agreed. Vince, what's up?
Hey, good morning. I was tired of Petey calling me out. I just woke up. I was actually down to
Yeah, sound like you just
shit.
woke up, man.
I
Damn,
was,
the mouth. Yo, pause. The mouth dry as hell right now.
oh my God, I was in Florida for the weekend and thankfully, I was walking through Palm Beach Airport with my Jets jersey. Thank God they won because I was going to get, we were about 20 miles north of Miami, so I'm very happy that they won. But I booked my flight late enough so I can catch the game. Mark kind of hit it right on the head to me. I mean, there's a lot of things that were wrong about yesterday's game. The offense once again. We're not used to stepping on somebody's throat from the get go, and I think that's one thing that as fans and that we want to see as well. Coming into a game and having a 10, 12 point lead, at halftime and kind of, playing with the lead. We've yet to really do that so far. So, we came out slow. Rush defense was bad. Coverage was pretty bad. Sauce Gardner had one of his worst games that I've seen in a while. A lot of things to clean up too, but that's what you do. You beat teams when you don't play well. Rodgers looked a little rusty in a couple of positions, and my biggest takeaway is this, and I'm just not used to having a competent quarterback, right? Because there was a couple 3rd-and-1s, 3rd-and-2s. I think the one that was deep to Lazard where he missed it. In my head, I'm like, you need 1 yard, just run the ball or stay short or whatever. And then the next play happens and it's 3rd-and-1, and I see Rodgers drop back and Garrett go out, out deep, and I'm like, shit, we're doing it again. Just run the
Yep.
ball, get the 1 yard, pick it up, and then he drops it in, to Garrett on a dime. And I'm like, oh shit, that's a lot better than, fighting for 1 yard. And it's gonna take, as a fan, I need to adjust my eyes when I'm watching Jets games to realize, like, we have a quarterback that can make those throws, and it's gonna be a little bit different of an offense for us too. But um, New England's on to New England. I think that they just need to. I trust our corners against those receivers. I know New England's playing tough. It's a division game, so those games are always hard. I trust our corners on their receivers. They have a two-headed monster with Gibson and Ramondre. I mean, I'm afraid of the run with them. Just stop the run, and I think we're fine.
Good points, Vince. Vince, that was to that point too. After you saw the thing and you saw the red line up there with the target for the field goal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought we should have ran the ball too on that. But when you have a guy like Rodgers, that's where his experience comes in, man. And look, he delivered dimes. Like,
And
it was a
you know what's
perfect
good too,
throw.
just to piggyback off and to piggyback with that too, and it's credit also to Garrett Wilson because there's a lot of receivers that really, let alone that can't make that catch, that's just not used to seeing a quarter. There's only about 2 to 3 quarterbacks that can make that throw, and it's just, and credit to Garrett too, is that that's how special Garrett Wilson is that he can take one of those 50-50 balls, big moment late in the game where he was running towards the sideline and had to cut back in towards the field, to make that catch too. So, you kind of see how good he is as well in that situation, that he can make that adjustment, that he can also make, a big catch late in the game too. And it kind of shows, the type of receiver he is.
To do that, like the deep ball tracking, like I think this may be part of why with Sauce, it's like, oh man, he gave up that play. Like we just expect excellence out of Sauce. Like with Garrett Wilson, I feel like we just expect him to be incredible. And like it is not easy to be running full speed to flip his head like that and his body and still maintain the deep ball tracking while running full speed and catch it over your shoulder like that. That's a big play. Uh, he's very talented, man. The Jets, they got a lot of talent, man. They need time on task at this point, and it's like, and I'm hopeful that the line can buy them some time to find some rhythm because guys, the run game hasn't even really gotten off to a great start yet. Like that part's not even fully functioning. Wait till the run game gets going and see what happens when teams are forced to put another guy in the box to try to stop the run. Because now you got Allen and you got Brees Hall. Like what happens? What's going to happen for Wilson and for Will? And wait for Mike Williams to get healthy. He's not even healthy. This guy, he's on a pitch count. So like, go ahead, Terrence.
Yeah, I came in just to talk about Allen because I knew there were a lot of hands and I was driving. There was a point in time where I knew I was going to get into the blender. But absolutely, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better performance from like a fourth round draft pick with 2 touchdowns, one running, one catching. And I just think I mean, you know what? For once, uh, somebody that in the I mean we have Michael Carter, that we extended, fifth round draft pick, but somebody that made an immediate impact. I know CB was on the Corley train too. He caught one pass as far as I remember, so that was kind of good. I think they're just going to bring him. I think his major issue is he just doesn't have a route tree from Western Kentucky, but I want to see more of that too. But just like you said, the possibilities with this kid Allen as a complement to Hall, I think it's going to be good. I think he's going to be able. The one thing Hall's got to do better is on 3rd and 1, just get the yardage for the first down. I know Allen did it once, where he put his head down and he got that 3rd and 1, and I just think that's going to soften the line and make it easier for Hall in the third and fourth quarter. But in the red zone, having maybe both of them in the backfield, either you don't know which guy might get the rock. You don't know if one of them's going to go out in the flat and Rodgers will throw it to them. I mean, and then couple that with what you're saying about, who is Garrett Wilson going to be single covered then in the red zone? Or Lazard or Williams, like just and the I know Ruckert gave it seems like Ruckert gave up on that pass, or it seemed like he stopped,
Yeah,
but
he stopped running.
just at least they tried to give him a red zone throw. Like they didn't do that the first 2 years. The kid's 6'5". They got to keep feeding those guys those little passes where only those guys can go up and grab it against a cornerback that's like 5'11", or or thereabouts, and just throw it up, hope he can come down with it. And that's what Rodgers does. And I know, some Jet fans were saying, "Oh, like it's 19 games since Rodgers had like a 300-yard game." Like I don't want Rodgers to have to throw for 300 yards all the time. I want a balanced attack. And after 2 games, he's got 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. And I think we've said it many times in the offseason. I mean, that translates to me to like 34-10. If like if this trend continues, and if we get a quarterback that's like
2 or 3 for 1 touchdowns to interception ratio. That's what we want, and we're going to be successful. And it's just, and you said it too, Mark, earlier when I was driving to work. I mean, again, uh, our defense held them to 17, but the difference this time is that we got to 24 on the road, and that made the difference. And I expect this offense to be a little bit better as time goes on. So maybe next time it'll be 31-17 or something like that, but basically this defense will traditionally keep teams at 20 points or lower. And I just think if this offense is humming, we're going to win our share because we're going to get 24 and above. In those situations, as long as again Allen continues to progress with Brees and Williams, and who knows what happens at the trading deadline.
Thanks, Terrence. Santucci, I got a guest in. If you can make a quick point, do so. But if not, can you hold off? Tell me now. If you can make the point, it's all good. But
I'll hold on. You can bring your guest in.
oh, hey, how you doing, man? Good to see you.
I'm good, thank you.
I thought you were Santucci. It's Matthew. How you doing, man? Good to see you.
I'm good,
Hang
Pete.
on. Good. Thanks for coming in. Mike Herndon, who covers the Titans, has joined us. Mike, good morning. Thanks for joining. How are you, man?
Good morning. Doing good. How are you guys doing?
Good, man. Back to back, Friday and now Monday. I appreciate this very much, Mike.
Yeah.
Hey,
Happy to do it.
yeah, Mike. So I know you cover the Titans, and listen, I thought to me, I understand the guy makes turnovers, but I thought Will Levis played extremely well yesterday, considering that one bad turnover. But the Titans, I think the Titans. I mean, they spent a lot of money. They're not far off, man. They're a competitive team, man.
Yeah, and I kind of expected them to. I kind of thought that's how the game would go. Honestly, I thought they'd be competitive. I think they're defense is good. I thought, well, Will Levis. I mean, it's not going to do him any good with the fan base right now because after he rolled that ball on the ground for the fumble in the red zone, I mean, I don't think he could have thrown 5 touchdown passes in the rest of that game, and the fan base would still be livid with him, just because of the boneheaded mistakes have got to stop, and they are not stopping. And at some point, you just can't live with them anymore, right? So that's the story of the game from the Titan standpoint. Coming out of it is the second straight week of a dumb Will Levis play, potentially costing them a shot at winning a game. Obviously, I mean they're probably getting 3 points there, so it's not going to swing the whole game, but it maybe changes the situation late. Um, depending on how the rest of the game might have played out. And anytime you take points off the board, it's bad. So I did think he played better though, outside setting that horrendous mistake aside again. I did think he played better this week overall and showed some of the flashes that I think a lot of people were excited about coming into the season anyways.
Mike, from a Jets fan's perspective, like in that fourth quarter when Rodgers was driving, were you like in awe of like, wow, Aaron Rodgers can still do it? Like, give me your perspective as like, a person covering him that's seen him play. I don't know how old you are, Mike, but I'm sure you've seen him since you're younger. But
Yeah.
give me your assessment of Rodgers's, that's game winning drive.
Yeah, I mean, I to be honest, I kind of felt like that was coming at that point in the game. Like the Titans defense started off so hot, but then it felt like they the Jets kind of started to figure things out, and then obviously Rodgers, when you put him in that situation with the game on the line, more often than not, he's going to come through. I just feel like he's one of those guys that you give him the ball, tie game in the fourth quarter, he's going to go get you a touchdown or at least get you 3, and go win you the game. So I wasn't necessarily surprised to see him do it. I did think Rodgers looked pretty good in this game. Some of those throws that he hit, I mean, it was tremendous coverage and just a Jets, you know, he put the ball in the only spot where the Jets could have made the play, and they did. There was a ball to Lazard, I think, down the field that again, like I just don't know how you could have put it any better against tight coverage. The ball to even to Brees Hall for the touchdown. I mean, that was a ball where hey, Brees Hall had a chance to make a play, and only Brees Hall had a chance to make a play. So he's pinpoint accurate down the field, and it is fun to watch him. Not when he's playing against your team necessarily, but it is fun to watch him.
Mike, one thing that can not concern me, but as a Titan, like watching the game like as a Jeff fan, why did the Titans just go away from what was working so good? Because they were running the ball, they were mixing things up, and to me, it's just, I mean, Jeff fans are going to say when C.J. Mosley got hurt, but I don't know, man. I just thought that the Titans went away from it. I know you got to take shots down the field, but right after that happened, they threw the ball down the field to when Eccles picked it off. I just didn't think.
Yeah.
I get it, you got to be aggressive, but everything was working until that point.
Yeah, and I guess for me, I think part of this is Bill or not Bill, Brian Callahan being a first-time play caller, right? I mean, this is kind of the same thing happened last week with the Bears game, in that they started off pretty well. I guess they had two terrible drives to start the game against the Bears, but then they settled in the rest of that first half and looked great. But then they came out in the second half, and it seemed like the Bears made adjustments on defense, and the Titans failed to adjust with them. And I kind of felt like the same thing happened in this game. I think right now, Brian Callahan is getting out adjusted. And look, he's the teams they've gone against in the first 2 weeks, the Bears, led by Matt Eberflus, and then, the Jets led by Robert Saleh are coached by veteran defensive coordinators who know what they're doing on that side of the ball, right? So I think that's the issue right now for the Titans is that they've got a young, inexperienced play calling head coach who's doing this all for the first time, and he's gone up against two of the better defensive minds in the NFL the last couple weeks. So I think that's part of it, and he's got to learn from it as well. So I don't think you can lay this all on Will Levis's feet. Some of it is Brian Callahan needs to stick with what's working and adjust when needed, and that's a feel thing. He's just going to have to learn that through experience.
Mike, how was the crowd? Were there a lot of Jeff fans there that you noticed? Was it like, what was the difference in fans? Was it like 20, 80, 30,
Yeah,
70?
I was not there
Oh,
yesterday,
okay.
but from what I understand, it was a good bit of there was a good bit of green in the crowd, and you could hear it when the Jets scored a couple times. You could hear Jets fans being pretty loud there. So,
Yeah, I
which
heard Brees
again,
chants. I heard Brees
yeah,
chants. I heard defense chants. That usually happens at at MetLife Stadium. So it was nice to see, Jeff fans showing up for that.
it's unfortunately it's not unusual for Titans games. I mean, I think we talked about this a little bit on Friday. It's Nashville's a great city to visit, especially for a football weekend. The weather's good, downtown's right there. It's a fun downtown, fun place to go out after a game. So it gets flooded with opposing fans, especially when a big teams like the Jets and the Packers are going to be there next week. So I guarantee you there's going to be more green in the stadium for that game too. So it's going to be it's kind of a blessing and a curse for people in Nashville.
Yeah. June, do you have anything? I don't know if June's here.
Yeah, I'm
There
here.
you
I
are.
mean, I don't have any questions, but I will say that the Titans, they impressed me, man. I mean, they're far more competitive than what I thought they would be. And me honestly, I think maybe next year they could be serious contenders for their division. I really do. Levis showed me a lot of things, but like you said, I mean, you can nitpick. His one bonehead play cost the game, but his throws, yeah, the guy got a live arm, man.
Oh, he's definitely got a huge arm. He's a talented runner too. I mean, he's physically very
Yes.
strong. He's got a lot. That's the frustrating thing with Will Levis, to be honest with you, is you see the plays that he makes, and I mean, even some of his throws, like the wheel route to Tony Pollard, was a pinpoint accurate pass. He fired some balls in there to Tyler Boyd, again, that were just right on the money through tight windows, and you see that stuff, and you're like, man, that looks like a real NFL quarterback. And then he is, splayed out in the Superman pose, rolling the ball backwards on third down in the red zone. And it's just so frustrating because if it was a one-off thing, I'd be like, yeah, whatever, sometimes stuff happens, but that this stuff continues to happen with him, and it's been repetitive, and it's extremely frustrating because it's the flashes are there, and you're so, just like teased by the thought of what he could be, only for him to then turn around and do something like that out of nowhere. So I'm hoping he can get it together. I mean, he talked after the game about needing to rewire his brain on some of that stuff. I hope the rewiring goes well because I mean, I do think he could be a really good NFL quarterback still, but the longer we get into this thing, the more I am concerned that this is just a part of who he is as a player. So I hope that's not correct. I hope he figures it out and puts it all together because I mean, Lord knows the Titans have gone long enough without a real quarterback here. So we'll see what happens.
Mark, go ahead.
Thanks, Pete. And Mike, thank you again for joining us so quickly after. It's great. Thank you so much for being gracious with your time.
Sure.
I came away from the game, and again, I think this was before the game. I was looking at the roster. I'm like, man, look at all this talent from other teams that now have assembled in Tennessee, and it's just going to take some time for all these folks playing together. I walked away from this game thinking, man, they've got great weapons on offense. They have a lot going on defense, like very talented, aggressive defense. And I feel like, given time on task, it could be a good football team. So long as, and listen, Mike, we are, as Jet fans, we are experts in watching young quarterbacks make boneheaded plays. Like that's the stuff that's between the ears. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And that's where coaching can help him out. I think, listen, if he cleans that stuff up, listen, we've seen a lot worse. We've seen quarterbacks throw into triple coverage intentionally. I think we saw some really wild stuff from Bryce Young so far. So and Levis,
Yeah.
man, his athleticism and ability to take off, like that's going to be a threat, and he can rely on that. I think you guys could be in the mix because look, Jacksonville's 0-2, the Colts are 0-2. Like, why not Tennessee? Why not Tennessee start firing all cylinders and start if they could just clean it up? I don't see why Tennessee can't be in the mix in that division, even this year.
Yeah. I mean,
It's a talented team.
I do think they're talented. I don't think they're going to catch Houston. Who I mean, Houston hasn't looked like world beaters by any means, but they now have a 2-game lead on everybody, and I think they're the best team anyways. They've got the best quarterback, certainly in the division. So I I'm not expecting them to really compete in the AFC South. I think they could get in the mix for a wild card,
Yeah, wild
possibly.
card. Yep.
But and I agree. It's a lot of. I think the roster turnover numbers, and I'm trying to remember what they were exactly, but it's something like 40 40 something percent of the roster this year is new. It was close to 50, so it's like half a new roster. Out of the starters, it was more than 50%. So they really have changed over a lot this year. And I do agree with you. It's a good point that it's going to take them time to gel on both sides of the ball, not just offense. We think about the offense, of course, a lot, but the defense, I mean, you've got both inside linebackers are new to the team this year. You've got, 3 out of your 5 secondary starters are new this year. It's definitely a new group, and they need some time to gel and come together. And I think they'll play better football as the year goes on. My biggest concern coming out of this game, besides the Levis continued just mental errors, is that right side of the offensive line, which, last week it was the left side, but we kind of expected the left side to be better just because they're talented. And eventually you expect talent to win out. Latham and Skaronski were very good in this game, but Nicholas Petit Frere got absolutely whipped. He gave Will McDonald a career game over there. And that is very concerning because that was a concern headed into the season, and now it has reared its ugly head here in week 2, and you worry that you don't have a right tackle on the roster currently. So that's a problem.
Speaking of Will McDonald, Mike, how about Will McDonald, a guy that's really criticized here that he's been a
Yeah.
bust, 3 sacks in a game, impressive performance.
Yeah, he was everywhere. Yeah, and I liked Will McDonald coming out. I mean, the athleticism and the arms and everything, and I thought he'd figure it out eventually. And maybe this is him, the light coming on. Although I'd also be concerned that maybe this is just the light going off for Nicholas Petit Frere at right tackle for the Titans. But we'll see. It was definitely an impressive performance, and yeah, I'm excited to see what he does kind of coming off of this game because I do think he's an extremely talented player. There's no doubt about that. It's just getting it all put together, and sometimes a confidence builder is needed, and maybe this is it for him.
Office, go ahead.
Petey, June, Mark, good
What's
morning.
up? Good morning.
Good morning, Office.
Man, I was kind of mad that I pulled away my score prediction because I hit first one yesterday on y'all when I had mentioned that. And what game, right? Didn't that end up being the best game of the day in the NFL slate? Y'all was playing.
I don't know.
For Mike,
Others will say other games, but I
Got a
mean,
few lead changes, so not a bad game.
now Mike, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Do you feel like, I know you're experiencing this, of course. The NFL defensive schemes can trick the quarterback a lot, right? Like it can sometimes feel like you're banging your head on the wall and being like, yo, I can't believe they fooled me again. Do you feel like that small part, but pivotal part of Levis's game can improve? I mean, that's probably the thing holding them back is just not falling for the tricks, right?
I think it's part of it. He's certainly not the most experienced quarterback. I mean, he started 2 years at Kentucky, and then last year obviously had what 8 games, 9 games, somewhere around there, um, of actual action. So
It's not a lot.
yeah, so I think in the grand scheme of things, he'll get a lot more comfortable seeing what NFL teams are going to throw at him, kind of understanding it and knowing where to go with the football quickly, right? Like, because I think that's such a huge part of playing quarterback at the NFL level is, we get enamored with the arms and things like that, which he obviously has, but um, ultimately it comes down to decision making to me more than anything. And if you can make the right decision over and over and over and over and over again, you're going to be a better quarterback uh, than a guy with a big arm who doesn't make good decisions, right? So um, I think that's part of it. But some of the stuff like the rolling the ball back to Tajay Spears, that's not even. I just don't even understand how that enters his brain. That this is what I need to
That's
do.
like playing drunk backyard football.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of that stuff that he's got to wipe out. I feel like he's got to wipe out that stuff first, and then we can be patient with him. Learning NFL defenses, understanding that kind of thing. Um, and I guess from a positive angle on Levis, he has, according to Brian Callahan, been able to come off the field and tell him, what he saw, why he did what he did when he's made mistakes, and been able to accurately explain what the defense did and why he, made that mistake. So that's a positive that he's understanding that and learning that. And it may be something where, the light starts to click on for him, down the stretch. But yeah, we'll see. I definitely think that's a big part of his struggles early on, though.
all right. Thanks for that, Mike. Couple more, Mike, and then I got a few more. And Mike, again, man, I can't thank you enough for coming through last second on both times. This means a lot, man. Appreciate your hard work. I know I don't know you personally, but I know what you do, and this is what I like and the fans like. We want to hear a perspective from your point of view. So thanks
Sure.
again, man.
Yeah, happy to do it.
Mike, go ahead, man. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Uh, I was at work, so I didn't get to watch the game. I saw texts, I looked at scores, and a bunch of stuff. But obviously, I was able to watch the highlights on YouTube. With that being said, I think both sides got to see what they wanted to see. I think Will Levis, once he fixes, tweaks some things, doesn't even necessarily mean fix, just tweaks some things. I think he'll be a viable QB in the NFL. Which is, I know Jim Wyatt, and this is his year to prove that the Titans should go forward with him, right? And I think he showed enough, for at least for me, from what I saw, he showed enough yesterday where he's on the right path. And then, the Jets, they got the win. Right? There is no moral victories in the NFL. They got the win. They're 1-1. But I will say this: I think yesterday, the Titans are under advertised, and I think the Jets have been, especially in the offseason, have been a little over advertised, just in my opinion. But yeah, no, I mean, Mike, I think Will, moving forward, I think he's, the trajectory is there. He's on the right path. I think the Titans are very underrated. They're an underrated football team.
Yeah, and I think that's relatively common for for the Titans. I felt like even when they were good in the 20 you know 2020 yeah 2020 2021 seasons where they were, I think, 12-5 back-to-back seasons, or maybe it's 11-5 and 12-5. They were kind of underrated then too, because I really felt like they were a good football team during that stretch of time. But yeah, they're talented. I mean, there's no doubt. I felt like a lot of people going into this game felt like it was just going to be a cakewalk for the Jets, and I never felt like it was going to be that way. It was going to be a fight. This team has some talent, especially at a few key spots. The secondary, I think, is very good. I think now that Ernest Jones is kind of getting his you know his feet wet in this defense. I think the inside linebackers are very good between Ernest Jones and Kenneth Murray. I mean, those two are both extremely athletic guys, and they both were all over the field. I felt like in this game. Now there's still some issues. I think there's some run fit issues with those guys. Again, new to a new defense, but I think they'll get all that worked out as the season goes on. But there's certainly some playmakers now on both sides of the ball, and yeah, it'll be interesting if they can protect Levis better than they did on Sunday, and if Levis can kind of get out of his own way a little bit too. I do think they could be a problem for some good teams down the stretch. I think they're going to be in games consistently this year, even despite the 0-2 start.
Uh, Shubs, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I feel like a question is kind of like, Levis has been bad, bonehead decisions, whatever, but the play calling seems really gimmicky with a bunch of screens and runs and such. Like, we're not attacking downfield, or maybe the middle of the field is a better answer. I guess I'm just wondering. I know Callan's first time head coach, and it's going to get better, but like, I don't know. It just seems like he's playing too much to take away from Will Levis or like hide him, and I don't know. It just seems like you're not going to win, or we're not going to see if Levis is the guy by hiding him the whole game. Like, if we're gonna go down, just like fuck it, and you know.
Yeah, I'm with you on some of that. I do feel like at times in the second half, the play calling felt like it was, hey, we're kind of scared of our quarterback doing something dumb here. Let's try to take the decisions out of his hand, put him in a screen, put him in a kind of a designed read where he has one read on the play and he's got to get rid of the ball, and that's that. So I felt like there was some of that in the game. I know they do want to be a good screen team though, and that is an important part of their approach. That's part of why they went and got Tony Pollard to go with Tajay Spears, because they want the backs to be involved in the pass catching game. And I think both those guys have the skill set to be successful in the screen game. screen game was fantastic in preseason. It has not carried over yet to a large degree in the regular season, but I think that will get worked out, whether it's a timing issue or just being able to get to those looks when they need to in better times in the game. I don't know what the issue with the screen game is right now. I haven't studied it in depth just yet, but it's definitely something that they want to be a part of this offense, and I don't think it's going to go away. And I don't know that that's necessarily a reflection of Levis, although I do think the mix in the second half reflected a lack of willingness to put him into a straight drop back passing game, which again could also come down to they felt like they couldn't protect him in that sense too. Which Nicholas Petit Frere's horrible game would suggest that was a viable fear as well. So I think there's a lot that kind of sits on that, but either way, I do think some patience with Callahan is necessary just because, he is the second. That's the second time he's ever done it. Like he didn't call plays in Cincinnati. He, hasn't called plays anywhere else. This is the second time he's calling plays, and he's got all the other responsibilities of a head coach. It's a tall order for sure, and I would not be surprised if it takes him a little bit of time to really become excellent at it. But we'll see if he gets there.
Mike, I saw something come up on the screen yesterday. Didn't realize the Titans spent the most money in free agency this year. That's crazy. I know
Yep.
they did it, but uh, I thought Calvin Ridley was outstanding yesterday. He's still very good, that guy. I just think he needs somebody that's good to throw him the ball. But Calvin Ridley really impressed me yesterday. Give me your thoughts on him.
Yeah, Ridley, I think is outstanding. His speed is incredible to watch, and he's not only fast, top end speed wise, but he's got the acceleration and stop start ability that is kind of rare. Like he's got to be in the top probably 3 or 4 wide receivers in the league when it comes to stop start acceleration at that position. And which gets him open, it gets him behind the defense. It does a lot. And he is a really good football player, I think. So I think I was excited to see him used a lot in this game. And I think he will be a huge part of their plans going forward. And I mean, yeah, they spent $92 million on him. They obviously want him to be a big part of the offense. And they were aggressive in free agency, which again is like they're paying their entire quarterback room between Will Levis and Mason Rudolph like $5 million. So you can afford to spend elsewhere when that's the case. So they're doing it aggressively. I think they want to give Will Levis the best chance possible to succeed. And that's part of the reason they were so aggressive in the market this year. And we'll see how it all pans out. I mean, obviously, not the start that the Titans wanted necessarily, but it's a long season, and yeah, you've got a backup quarterback that we know well coming into town next week with Malik Willis, and we'll see if they're able to get back on track there. But obviously, the Packers proved this week that maybe they can still win with a quarterback that only throws 11 times or whatever Malik did in that game.
How do
Mike,
you feel about that game with,
yeah.
with, with Malik? Are you a little nervous that he might outplay Levis? Or like, what are you thinking?
I would be shocked if he outplayed Levis. Now, if the Packers beat the Titans with Malik Willis at quarterback, it's not going to matter how well Malik plays or how well Will plays. It's going to become a meltdown among this fan base. But I'd be very surprised if Malik outplayed Will. I just watching them side by side for 2 years now. I can tell
No,
you
I hear you.
without
I just say that
question,
because
Levis is the better quarterback.
I say that because I think there's some people's takeaway from that Colts Green Bay game that Malik was like, yeah, he was probably more scripted and more put in scenarios that the coach like, not chaos, but some people came out of that game thinking he did better than Anthony Richardson, which I was
Yeah.
surprised because, but I was seeing that sentiment.
Yeah, I mean, I think Malik did play well in that game. I've watched parts of it. I haven't gotten through that whole game yet. I did think that in he's not untalented, right? Like Malik is definitely a good thrower of the football. He's got a good arm. He's obviously athletic and all that. It's the issue with him has always been getting rid of the football and actually making decisions. And I thought the Packers, based on what I've seen of it this far, the Packers did a good job of kind of keeping him in defined reads. It was a smart game plan from Matt LaFleur for a guy who'd only been there for 2 weeks, right? Even if Malik was not a chronic holder of the football and everything like that, this would have been a good game plan for a guy that was new to the team and didn't quite maybe know the entire depth of the playbook. Um, so
Yeah, it was a lot of shorts. It was a lot of like tens and under
yeah.
screens. He went 12 for 14. They gave him a game plan that he can handle.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we kind of saw that. The Titans won a game with Malik against the Texans. I guess it was 2 years ago, his rookie season, where they kind of did the same thing. It was a lot of, screens, short throws, and a lot of Derrick Henry in that game. I think Henry rushed for over 200 yards, and obviously Josh Jacobs, I think, rushed for like 170 or something like that in this game. So. You're good. I think that's going to be the formula, for the Packers until Jordan Love comes back. But we'll see if the Titans are more prepared for it than the Colts were.
Mike, before I get you out of here, one quick thing. How do you see the Jets season moving forward from what you saw yesterday? Do you think they got a shot, as a wild card? Do you think they'll be in the mix towards the end? Give me your thoughts. And again, thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah, I mean, I still think they can win the division. I mean, they're 1-1. I mean, the Bills have looked good the first couple weeks, but I mean, things change, over the course of a season. So, yeah, I still think the Jets certainly look to me like a playoff team, and I would be if I was a Jets fan, I would be excited about kind of seeing what the rest of the season has to give. 'Cause, I mean, like guys like Braylon Allen, breaking out in this game. I loved Braylon Allen in the draft. He was one of my favorite players in the draft. Him being what 19 years old or whatever it was, and the physical ability and the speed and everything like that. I mean, and he flashed it all in this game. I mean, he looked fantastic, and looks like a guy that could be like a 1B to Brees Hall, as good as Brees Hall is. Yeah, I think the Jets are very talented. I think Mike Williams will get better as the year goes on, and he gets further removed from that ACL injury. Yeah, I think the Jets are a team that should be very much in the playoff mix, if not the division title mix by the end of the season. It's a very talented football team y'all got there.
I appreciate that. I want to tell you too, man. Y'all guys played hard as shit. I think y'all are gonna punch a few teams in the mouth this year and catch them off guard. I just think Levis just has to play a non-turnover, just an efficient game, like a game manager type game. Doesn't have to make the big plays, but I think y'all will win, upset a few this year.
Yeah, I think the Titans will be competitive. I think they're gonna win some games that they probably shouldn't, and then lose some games that they probably shouldn't too. And ultimately, I don't think this is a playoff team. I had them as kind of a fringe playoff team entering this season, but I didn't going 0-2. I don't know. It's that's going to be a harder road to climb here to get back in what looks like a you know again it's going to be a good conference. Like the AFC is going to be good. It's probably going to take 10 or 11 wins to get into a wild card spot, and I just don't think the Titans are probably going to win 10 of their next 15. Is my guess. So. We'll see, but I think this ultimately is going to be a below 500 team, and yeah, maybe a punchy below 500 team, but still not enough to be where the Titans ultimately want to be.
Mike, June, do you have anything before we let Mike go?
Yeah, I got one last thing, Mike. I got a prediction. On October 20th, you guys go to Orchard Park. I see an upset. I see
All
an upset.
right,
I see
I
an
like
upset.
it.
I see is Levis versus Allen. They both do the same things pretty much. I can
Yeah.
see it.
All right, I'm here for it. The Titans and Bills have a little bit of a rivalry ourselves. Going back to the Music City Miracle
Music City Miracle.
and all of that, and there's still a lot of debate when we play each other about laterals and things like that. Which one day Bills fans will learn what that is, but uh, it should be an interesting game for sure because I do think Levis has a lot of Josh Allen in him, and
Yes,
that's
he
been
do.
the comp, for optimistic Titans fans. I think with Levis is that look at Josh Allen's first 2 years and all
Yes.
that stuff, and Levis hasn't been that bad, and maybe he could get there too, and I think some of that is fair. Although I think Josh Allen is kind of he's the only example of a guy who played that bad for 2 years and then became this good.
Yep.
It's a that's a thin thread to grab onto, but I can see it because I mean physically and even some of the same goofball mistakes. I think they
Yes.
both make them. So yeah, I think there's a lot of comps there.
Mike, thanks again. Hope to talk to you again, man. But thank you for all your time, and we appreciate you very much, man.
Of course, and enjoy y'all's Victory Monday up there.
Thanks, Mike. Have a great day, man.
All right, see you guys.
You got it. Mike
I'm
Herndon,
telling you,
who
Petey,
covers the
that
Titans.
defense is gonna knock somebody in their teeth. That defense did. Like watching them versus
Yeah, they were all over the place.
the Bears and versus other two, it's like that's why I think they're gonna give some teams some fits, especially what you see the offenses right now are behind. That's what I'm seeing from the first 2 weeks. Like these offenses aren't set, so I think that defense is gonna catch
Yeah.
some people off guard.
Taddy, how happy you're like, for instance, what would you say we got out of Aaron Rodgers yesterday? The old Aaron Rodgers, 60%, half. I said in the offseason, and more fans said it than just me, but if we could get 60% of what Rodgers is, we can win football games and be really competitive. What do you think of that?
You know what's crazy, Petey? With Rodgers, I don't even
Patty
look at
in the
the
blender.
numbers. I'm looking at, is he making these third down throws when we need it? Like I'm kind of like I understand he played 2 games in 600 and something days, so I'm kind of giving him a pass a bit. I'm more looking for him to just keep throws. That was all I needed to see. We had like a 5.5 minute drive. We had another almost a 5 minute drive. We wasn't doing it last year, like long drive, able to keep the defense off the field. So it was good to see that out of the offense just being able to stay on the field for like a decent amount of time.
Yep.
Did you
It's a
might
good
talk? I can't
point.
hear.
No, nobody is. Matthew, what's up?
Hey, morning. How you guys doing?
Good, man. How are you?
All right. Good to hear you guys again. Mark and
Good.
June, good to hear you guys again as well.
Same,
Yeah,
man.
bro.
What are your thoughts on the game, Mr. Sandy? What do you think?
Well, honestly, me personally, I'm gonna go back just a little bit to last week. It's not negative; it's most positive because everybody was negative last week. But I saw a lot of positive I was looking for from the San Francisco game as far as the offense, how it will look, with Rodgers being healthy and everything like that. And I was impressed to see, the offensive line, nobody got hurt, and everybody tried their best to, to make sure they stay in line with Rodgers, his play calls, and what he was doing. It's only going to get better as they go forward because, like I said, everybody's new to each other. So it's just the chemistry amongst them offensive linemen and the timing of Rodgers play calling and that type of stuff. But like I said, I was impressed. San Fran was going to be a tough game, but it was only week one, so I wasn't worried about that. But I'm happy from what I see. Wasn't worried about the defense either. My fear that I had compared, I never spoke about it, but it actually started to come through was the defense was healthy for 2 years straight before anybody getting serious injuries, and now we lost Jermaine Johnson, and that was a little sad to me because the moment I saw he stayed on the floor and hold his knees, I was like, damn. This is one of my fears because that's how we used to stay in games with the defense staying healthy.
That's a good call, bro. I actually said the same thing. I said, what are the odds on the defense staying healthy for 3 years in a row? Don't
And
really
now,
happen like that.
yeah, and I'm saying that Robert Sala had to deal with that in San Francisco, man. He had a healthy defense, and then all of a sudden, then they start breaking down, and then it was like the next man up. But positively on the the the, the good side of it is that man, they brought in those three defensive undrafted rookies. I know everybody's talking about Will McDonald, but what's his name? McGregor, the edge rusher.
Yep, McGregor.
Yeah, look, I'm telling you, he disrupted some plays yesterday. If you guys realized, that last play coming down to the end when he almost had Will Levis sacked. I don't know how he got out of it, but he put some pressure on that offensive lineman coming around the edge right there. Like, that's a powerful dude. That's a very powerful dude. If he gets a couple more plays inside and he really gels with that defensive line, I'm telling you, it's going to be a problem as the season goes by. And people, trust and believe, you're going to see the defense get back into rhythm again. But it was good all around from the team yesterday, both offensive and defensively. Um, it just got the starting off slow part. It's been happening for a while now, but I mean, it's gonna pick up over time. They're gonna pick up over time. They're just getting together now. Um, to me, Pete, I know you talk about the Garrett Wilson catch, but that Mike Williams catch to me was a very crucial catch.
Yeah,
Honestly, at that point in the game,
yeah.
that's
Well,
like
Sandy, I actually posted yesterday. I thought that was the biggest play of the game, the Mike Williams catch. That's what
I
I
really
thought. Yeah, I
That and
did.
with the same thing you said earlier with Braylon Allen and Brees being on the field at the same time and having to motion one of them to make the defense believe that he's gonna throw the one and leave the other one to like pretend that he's gonna block. If you see that play a couple of times, trust and believe that's gonna be a problem. The
Well,
only
yeah,
save
because Sandy, real quick. Sorry, I want to keep going. You put the ball in a position, fake a pass. You could just sit that point because defense over to the right. Have
You're
it.
in the blender, Pete.
Go ahead, Mark.
I thought you are you in the blender or am I in the blender?
Pete is in the
In the
blender.
Pete's in the blender.
Okay.
in the blender.
Yeah, you're in the blender a little bit, Pete.
Well,
Mr.
is.
Yeah, Mr. Sandy, to two of your points, I think the first about this, they're going to get some talent. Like they're gonna get better as they play. And while the Jermaine Johnson injury is sad, I was hoping he was going to have a big breakout year, just like all the other year three guys were going to have a breakout. Um, it's sad for that. I do think they've got, like you said, man, they have a lot of young talent, and so now it's really coaching, man. How quickly can Ulbrich and Sala and White Cotton get more out of this front and figure stuff out? Like that's going to matter. And then the other part is, and I know, listen, if you're a long-standing Jet fan, you understand. Hey, the Jets have one weapon. Can they find a way to make that one weapon, help them win the game? And now it's like, and so basically everyone knows what they're going to do, and you just have to stop that weapon. I've never seen a Jet team. It's been a while since I've seen a Jets team have be able to misdirect because they have somebody that people are scared of, and they can use that guy as a decoy to generate. Because now DCs are going to look at this and say, okay, wait a second. If they're lining up in this two-back set, like who's getting the ball? And Mike Williams. And the last thing, you're right to call out Mike Williams, man. I've said it at the time. I'm like, listen, can you imagine the professionalism and focus to be out there running routes all game long and then to stay locked in and then the focus to come down with a critical catch at a crucial point in the game, a 50-50 contested ball, and Mike Williams comes down with it, both feet in. What an important play in the game. And this is what they got Mike Williams for. To see a contribution like this early. If he doesn't make that catch, I don't know if the Jets win the game.
and like you said, that's a mentality thing because imagine they're not throwing to you all game long, and then they finally throw to you. Some receivers would have given up already, but for you to stay locked in like that, that's maturity, but that's a veteran status right there.
And we've seen it out of the young guys, if you think about it. Like in week one, it was Garrett Wilson. Like some folks want to call it a PI, but I think Garrett Wilson should have continued the route because if you don't continue the route, they're not going to throw the flag. Like veterans understand, proceed with the play. I mean, some folks flop around like it's soccer, but still, like continue the route because you never know. And look at what Rucker did. Another young play mistake. Continue your route. Trust in your quarterback that he's going to get you the ball with timing. They have Aaron Rodgers. Like, he can help them threaten all levels of the field, but the players have to step up their level of play to match the intensity of Rodgers. So
I
that's
think
something
that
I hope
Rucker
they. Yeah,
one.
go ahead.
I think that Rucker one. I don't know if it was that he gave up on it. I think it was a miscommunication. 'Cause I think he was looking to run when he got to the goal line to run to the side instead of going back to the pile line in the back of the end zones. Because when he looked back, he really, oh shit, I got to keep going this way. So I think that was like a miscommunication, like him between him and Rogers.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about it that way. I need to rewatch that play, but I feel like he kind of stopped running and just like was like, oh well, I'm not going to get the ball, and then he gets the ball. It's like, like the ball's at him. So think about it. He makes that play, and now you have what's the score at that point? The Jets have had a 2 touchdown lead or 10 point lead at that point. If Rucker
Yeah,
comes down with that, so just that could flip because now you're creating more pressure on a young quarterback. Um, but listen, they have a lot to clean up, man. This was like, but look, if they're going to win games by playing an imperfect game, I'll take it. I don't need Rodgers to put up 400 yards and have a 3 touchdown, one pick. I don't need that. You know what I mean? Like let them find their way. Um, yeah, James, what's up, man? Good morning.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Well, as I live and breathe, if it isn't my brother June, what's going on, June? What's going on, bro?
Yo, what up, Jake? What's good with you, bro?
Uh-oh.
Hey, man, I heard you needed help dividing 100 by three. What's going on, man? I can help you out with that. Nah,
Yeah.
The threes never stop. Just know
Man,
that.
June, how many chits you guys did you bet with the whole Bills fan base? Oh my god.
Yo, man, yo, look, they my guys. Sometimes you just love trolling one particular fan base, and that's what they are for me, bro.
Yeah, man. No, I just came up here and said good game. Like the Titans defense was legit. They
Yeah,
kind
they
of
are.
just simmered down a little bit, but yeah, man, like you guys handled it well. That defensive line of the Titans I thought would get a little more pressure, especially with the interior. But you guys started getting the ball out quicker. Aaron Rodgers started making pinpoint accurate throws, which kind of helped simmer them down a little bit, help mitigate that pass rush. Um, I'm not gonna really talk about Will Levis with the underhand backwards pass, whatever he did, all feet off the ground, throwing the ball back to his running back. But yeah, man, like you guys beat a good defense, and that's something to be happy about. Now you play another good defense in the Patriots, right? And after week 4, really start to see who teams are. We'll really start to see the race for the AFC East. Um, and honestly, it might just be us and you. I don't really know about the Dolphins right now, especially with the Tua situation. And the Patriots still have a QB situation. So, you know, after
I
week
think
4,
for Miami it's a wrap, James, honestly. I'm
yeah,
not bullish. I wasn't bullish on them to start. Now I don't know what they do. But to your point about the line and interior pressure, if there was any player to have a thumbs down on it, it's Titman. I found like he was getting wrapped up in combo blocks and then he wasn't peeling to the second defender. Like there's some he's not gonna like watching his tape, I feel like after that game, but it's a young player again, like it's more time like it's stuff that they can work on with him and he's a specimen, Titman in the middle. So I think they can work on it, but they're gonna have to clean it up because you can't make I don't think they can make this level of mistakes and beat the Patriots. I really don't.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I will say though, I think both our teams are just getting started. Like we're getting better as each week progresses. And the Chiefs just took a big hit on offense with Pacheco, I think he broke his fibula. And
Wow. And
the
Brown's gone
Ravens,
too, right?
yeah, and Brown's gone for the season. And the Ravens, man, they just don't look good right now. They can always get better, but hey, like when it comes to playoff time, there might be room for two teams from the AFC East going into the playoffs. So yeah, man, it's
James, hey, good morning.
what's
My
up,
Mark,
Petey?
can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're back, and I know Jay Green wanted to get in on it too. Go ahead, Pete.
Yeah, and then we're gonna close. And Jay, good morning. Real quick, James. So to be fair, I get it that right now, whatever. I still consider you guys the favorite, but look at what happened. What were the Bills last year? 6-6, and then they went on that run. Yeah,
Yeah,
to win. Yeah, so to me, I don't know if we could figure out yet. We don't know yet, but right now, to me, the Bills are still the favorite. I mean, it's clear as day. They play better. I get it. The Arizona game wasn't as crisp, but you still won and you blew out Miami. So to me, the season goes in spurts, man. You do quarter seasons, half, and the quarter. Let's see. The Bills got a really tough 3-game road trip coming up, and
yeah.
if the Ravens somehow get to 0-3, James, they're going to be so desperate to win that game because if you start off 0-4, forget it.
I just think so. Like we've been saying since the beginning of the season, I just think the Ravens' issue are the lack of weapons after the top three and Mark Andrews likely and Zay Flowers. Like that's my concern with the Ravens. Derrick Henry kind of does look older now. He does have a lot of mileage on him, and they're gonna ask Lamar to do everything, but Lamar can't really do every single thing against good defenses that he's gonna face. I think you guys play the Ravens too, right? Or am I mistaken?
No, we don't.
Okay.
They don't play the Ravens this year.
Okay.
No.
So I just think the Ravens are putting a lot on Lamar's shoulders, and they're gonna live and die by Lamar Jackson. They're gonna win games and lose games by Lamar Jackson. I think for my team right now, the passing offense still needs to take a stride. Like there's some plays out there that we left on the field. Even last week in Miami, Josh Allen dropped a shotgun snap. Keon Coleman beat his man deep, and Josh scrambled to the right side, tried to get it to him with the lineman batted the ball down. That could have been a touchdown. Curtis Samuel, if Josh leads him into the end zone instead of throwing the ball to him, the defender doesn't have a chance to make a play on the ball. That's a touchdown. And there was some plays like that in week one too. So the passing offense still needs room for improvement. I like our run game, but yeah, like I said, I think both the Jets and the Bills still have room to improve, and I think that's I was telling my fan base after the Miami game. That's a beautiful problem to have because now you're winning games, but you know your team's not running on all cylinders, right? So if you can get some wins early in the season, 3-4 wins, while your team is still getting things together, watch out, you know. So I think when it comes down to week 6, both of us will go in there with our heads high with a winning record. So and it'll be a good game. So I'm looking forward to it.
I agree. And that Vikings Jet game in London is no pushover, Jeff fans. We're
Yeah,
gonna that's gonna be a tough game for us.
and man, Vikings beat the 49ers. I mean, they did lose Justin Jefferson to a quad injury, but it's like how we fell victim last year was just the travel and bad preparation with travel. Because even though these guys are world class athletes, you're still a human being. Your body still needs to adjust. Like you still need to adjust to the time, the atmosphere, whatever you want to call it. You need to adjust when you're traveling overseas like that. And Sean McDermott did not give our team time to adjust, and Jacksonville was over there for 2 weeks already.
Yep.
So it was just a recipe for disaster. But it is
If
what
I'm
it
gonna be
is.
real, bro, as a Jets fan, this is Jair. This is I don't know if anybody sees it, but after 2 weeks, I know a lot of people say overreaction, this and that. Um, the league is wide open. The Chiefs are not who people think they are. They're a toe away from it being a 2 point conversion, and the Ravens potentially winning that game.
Hmm.
And they're also a flag away from losing to the Bengals. That team easily is 0-2, like by the slightest of margins. So me looking at that team, also look at Pat Mahomes' passing charts. I told everybody that's a bottom receiver group in the league. It's showing. You got cornerbacks from the Bengals coming out week right before, like, yeah, that kid's not gonna do nothing. You know what Xavier Worthy did? He did nothing. They kept their word.
Yeah,
You know
but
actually what he
Patty,
did?
the Bengals always play these guys tough, man.
But no. Here's what I'm gonna say. Like looking at that passing chart, Mahomes out of the two, he's thrown like 50. I think he threw 25 last night and he threw 28. So he's threw 53 passes. He's threw about 8 passes past 10 yards. And you know what that's telling me? That's telling me those receivers aren't getting open. It's also telling me Andy Reid understands, like, I keep running all these screens because I got speed. What I got to do now is I got to keep people off balance. We're seeing them run more heavy sets than we ever seen, like last year and this year. That team is not as good as people think. Like, the cornerbacks aren't as good as either. Watson,
Yep.
like L'Jarius Sneed, losing L'Jarius Sneed, having McDuffie be your legit shut
He's
down
good
nickel.
though, Taddy. He's good, man.
No.
I
He's
love.
good. He's good, but I'm telling you, they were better when he could be their shutdown nickel. Like
Yeah,
now that they had
Taddy,
to
real
have him as
quick.
the one.
Sorry, Taddy, real quick. Let me get to Jay because he's been waiting, and I got to close right at 10. We're up against the hour.
All right, now you
You
good. You good. I was just saying the league is wide open. That's my takeaway.
can't argue with that. Jay Green, go ahead, man. Good morning.
What's up, brothers? How you guys doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. It was a great game yesterday, but it concerns me Quincy, bro. What's going on with him? He's being very
Who?
quiet in the game.
Quinn Williams?
Yeah, Quinny Williams.
I mean, we can't really get into it now. I mean, I'm not going to destroy him. I mean, I know
I'm just saying, not
fans.
destroying him, but I'm saying he's being very quiet. Yesterday, against an offense that's very young, they were manhandling him, and I don't know. It's like I don't know. He's not. Maybe on Thursday he will show up, but he haven't show up in 2 games, and that
I know he
concerns me. The
didn't.
running,
I know he has a couple of pressures, but he's got to start getting sacks. I agree.
and then not only that, in the running game too. He haven't done anything in the running game. It's like it concerns me. The running game defense is a big concerns. They got two teams that like they were playing real good on the running game on us. That concerns me. But it's a good game. It's a win. Is a win. But let's see how he does it Thursday. We want to see that because we're losing defensive guys left and right. And Quincy needs to step up. Quinny. That's it, guys.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm here, Pete.
I had a call. Sorry,
Thanks,
I
Jay.
missed the end of that.
No, he said
Yeah,
he's
he
worried about
just
Quinn.
finished.
All right, let's see how he play. I'm not. Listen, I'm. There's always concerns, but I'm gonna enjoy the victory, Jay. I'm not knocking your take. We'll dissect more of Quinn and Williams during the week. How
Oh
about
no,
that?
I am. I'm just saying, we short weeks. This 2 weeks have been short for us.
Yeah, I know. Now there's a game in 2 days, 3 days. So, guys,
Yep.
I gotta. We'll talk during the week, Jay. All right, but have a great day, guys. Shout out to the listeners. Uh, all the fans that came in. Thanks to Mike Herndon. June, thank you. Mark, thank you. Speakers, have a great day,
Okay,
guys.
Pete, quick
Be
shout out
well.
here. Shout
Did
out
you
to
ask him if he
CB.
was related to Chris Herndon?
So
Nah,
shout out to
I don't think
Oh,
he
CB,
okay.
is.
who might be open up later. And I see Tanad down in listener. My buddy Maldy. Thanks everybody for coming
What
in.
up, Tanan? Have a great day, guys. If you guys want to listen to this again, it'll be on YouTube. Jets Commute. See ya.